Welcome to yet another series on the database 23AI. In the first part, we had shown how to install the 23AI from Oracle VirtualBox. In this, we are going to understand how we can do it from a container or an image. So these are the steps. We will be doing a live demo of these steps, and the commands and the syntax will be put in the description box of the channel. So the first step is to do a WSL install. Now I'm assuming here that you're installing the image and running it on a container on your Windows laptop. Now we all know that the Docker image are Linux distributions and it cannot be directly installed on Windows. So we need something known as a Windows subsystem for Linux for the Docker image to communicate with the Windows system. Second is to go to the Rancher website and install the Rancher desktop. We could have done this from a Docker Hub website as well, but now the Docker is a paid one, so we will use the Rancher, which is free to use. So once you have installed Rancher desktop, you're going to restart your laptop and then install something known as WSL VPNKit. Now this is optional. Now why we require this is that sometimes if you're using a corporate VPN, the communication between the WSL and the Windows gets blocked. So to avoid that, you're going to use the WSL VPNKit. We're going to show you how to install that and use that as well. Then launch the Rancher desktop. We will visit the Oracle Registry site to get the image name and the command used to pull it. We will pull that image into the Rancher desktop and then we will create the container and run it. So it will spawn the Oracle database which is inside that container, and then we'll see how to access the database. We've seen that the first step in our process was to install the Windows subsystem for Linux. So for this, we visit the Microsoft website. It's a pretty much straightforward process wherein we install the WSL using WSL install command on the command prompt. So once you have done that, the next step is to install the Rancher desktop. So you have to visit the website of the Rancher desktop. You have multiple options. We are going to use Windows, so we will use the option download for Windows x64. So once you click on this, it starts going to download the image file and the installer kit, and you will have to follow the installation process. Again, a very simple process, and it will give you an start icon on your desktop, which you're going to see in a while. But before that, we need to restart the laptop and then install the WSL VPN kit. So we go to the GitHub, which has the WSL VPN kit. This is again a simple process. You will have to download the tar file from the latest release here and then run two commands. The first is an import command and the second one is a run command. So let me see whether I have them running here. This is a command to see the status. You have only Rancher desktop running, but the WSL VPN kit has been stopped. So let me run this command here on the command prompt. So there you go. The VPN kit has started its magic. Let's see whether it's running now. Yes, it is running now. So we are good to go with the next step, which is launching the Rancher desktop, which I have this in my desktop here. So I click and then the desktop runs. So you have some few images, which are the default images. And then you have the containers. There's nothing to view here. So I need to, I've already downloaded this image of the desktop, but let me show you how I did this. You will have to do an add image and then give the registry name. Now, how do I get the registry name? So Oracle on its website has put a registry of all the images which it has. So let me go to this registry. This has a list of all the images related to the OS, the middleware, the database, Golden Gate, and so on. So we are interested in the Oracle database and that to the free database here, 23i free. We are not going to download it from here, but why we came here is to show you the command which I need pull. So I copy pasted that. this is the name of the image, and I will click on pull. So the moment I do a pull, it's going to actually do a pull of the image from that registry site into my local desktop. And once I do that, it's going to establish itself here as a row here. I'm not going to do that because it's a pretty time consuming process. Took around 10 to 15 minutes. So it's around a 10 GB file which will sit in your virtual hard disk. Next, what do? You need to convert this image into a container, which means a runtime um, container. Container still not been created. Now you have two options. Either you can run it, or you can create the container and then run it from the console. I'm going to do the second step. I'm going to create the container. I'll name the container as FintechDB. If I don't name it, it's going to assign a name by its own. Very important to map the port. This is the 1521 port of the image. I'm going to map it to 1521 of my laptop. I give it a password. Yes, you can change the password later, but if you don't do that, it generates a random password which is difficult to find out. And this is the image name. So this is the command to create the container from the image. So it has started creating the container. To just check whether it has done it or not, let me go. Yes, so it's created. Now it has just created, it has not started, so I cannot access the database by any means. So let me start this. So now it's running now. The port has been mapped. Wonderful. I can stop it, but I won't stop it now. So what's the next? I don't need to change the password because I've already given a good password. No need to change the logs. I will just connect to the DB. So this is the welcome 123 the load. So let me connect to the database here. Let's see whether I can connect. Yes, I can connect. The other option is that I have SQL developer from Visual Safe Visual Code. So I can create a connection. So instead of creating, I'll create a new connection. I'll call it as FintechDB. Let's say it's system welcome 123 was the password. Localhost, since it resides on my laptop. Service name SID. SID is always free. Let me test the connection. Test passed. So I can save this connection and I can always connect to it. It will ask me for the password. Let me create the password. That's it. And once I create the password, I can open an SQL worksheet. I can run any command. Give you the list of users, which is there in the image. Thank you for being with us. Hope it was a useful session to understand how Oracle database runs in a container. Thank you.